Welcome to The Vault with Financielle. This is a safe space where we talk all things life and money and no topics are off limits. Hello.
Howdy.
Good morning. Hey, howdy.
Howdy, partner.
How are you doing?
Good. I'm cozy.
I'm doing good. I'm in my nail era. I'm still going. I feel like we talked about this quite a long time ago.
Going strong.
We talked about this about looking polished, and it's always been something that went from my budget as years and years ago. Obviously, I'm doing quite a lot of stuff on TV, and I just kept seeing my nails, and everyone else has their nails done. And I'm not usually one to be like, I'm not being influenced, but I felt that I've got these cue cards, and you see my hands, and they're just
true.
And like,
Isn't it funny? I would never look and think, but you do see your own.
Yeah,
you like zoom in, don't you? But isn't it, how much more money do you think you spend on your appearance than like your male counterparts?
I don't know. They're very handsome. I'm sure they have a lot of money spent on them.
You get whacked more than me. He's got less hair than I have.
Yeah, probably not as much. And it's not a requirement either. It's just I definitely feel that some of it's not even been the BBC stuff. It's been like TikToks and socials, and
it's when you like take a picture of your coffee and you're like,
which is why I am never on socials.
And she's hiding her fingers.
I mean, they are painted, but they're chipped.
They look neat. They look neat.
What do? We just move fast.
Yeah, we go this.
Move fast.
What I am going to do, and it is a task for later this month, ready for the next budget, is I don't think I've got my beauty sinking funds in the right place for this. So I kind of nicked the money from another pot, and mine's set around hair and the girls' hair and Carl's haircuts, and that's kind of it. But I have started to invest more in some beauty treatments. And again, I'm always really conscious about sharing it because I want to be honest and share with people what's in my budget. But also I'm in a different place to other people.
Yeah. Don't compare.
Don't think this is me saying, if you are in loads of debt, but you like getting your lashes and your eyebrows and your nails done, I'm not saying that you shouldn't get all that done. You should really look at your budget and say, we've talked about this before, what are your non-negotiables?
Yeah.
And then can you space out other things, or can you go without, or can you do yourself? I cannot do my nails myself, so that's one of the reasons why I don't do it myself. But I'm definitely out. I'm not putting enough in. So I need to look at my skincare, my eyebrows, my nails, my hair. And possibly I want to do a few extra blow dries. It's always been something on my bougie budget that I've wanted, where my blow dry can last a week. So if I can get that done, I can even do work usually while I have it done.
Yeah.
I've just not got that's an extra win for me, but I have to pay for it properly. And that's my task.
I think I under-egg my beauty budget, and it's hair's main character energy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone's hair is it's so expensive. It's like the biggest expense, isn't it, for a woman probably when it comes to upkeep of beauty treatment. So you kind of focusing on that. But you're right, I don't have skincare in my sinking fund.
Yeah, I take it out of like groceries, food.
Yeah. And entertainment and stuff. I'll just drag it.
Foundations, like when I need to top up your foundation, that is not cheap, even for like a budget brand. It's so expensive now.
My mum is like Mrs. Skincare and beauty. Like she'll go and find everything, and then she'll tell us. Isn't it funny? That
skincare plug.
Yeah, she's not got kids at home anymore. She has our grandkids at home, so that's a little bit different. But as in, she's got a bit more time and energy. Yeah, it's like
I'll say I need this, and then it
what
appears.
Shall I get?
She's like, oh wow,
she sends me the monster request. Like I do pay for it.
Yeah. But she likes it. She enjoys it. So I often looked at her the other day. I was like, I need a new foundation. She was like, the one you've got is perfect. It's True Match. It's L'Oreal. It's high street. You don't need to get a better one. And I'm sure it's under 15 quid.
Is it the dropper
True
one?
Match? No, it's a pump one. But I was thinking in my head, I should probably get, a Charlotte Tilbury or
if it's working stuff like that.
Why?
No.
I wear makeup for this podcast.
Let's not pretend I don't.
And maybe one other time in the month. I've probably had it 3 years. She's probably like, so you need to throw that one away because you've had it open. Because it says on the bottle, doesn't it? 6 months, 12 months, like how long you've had it open for.
I'm also like, of course they said that because they're buying you, but then I need
some things. Yesterday I was in the vitamin box and I was like, Neil, there's all these vitamins, and I was like, here, have this, and I happened to just look on the bottom and it was like best before 2022. I was like, maybe not this one. Threw that one away. Found another one. I was like, this'll do. Best before 1st of the 1st, 2023. I was like, they're gone. So I actually just need reminder, do a big clear out of your
old stuff.
Edibles especially.
Yeah. Need to basically you can't lie. Not can't lie, but if you're going to spend it,
don't lie to yourself.
If you're going to spend it, put it in. I'm lying to myself about how much my maintenance costs.
Just because you ate it in the car. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I ate the chocolate bar from the petrol station in the car, but I'm eating
counts.
healthy. We've all been there. Yorkie honeycomb, just in case you're wondering. Right, petrol station. What's your
Twill.
petrol start? Is it a duo though? Surely a massive one.
No.
I'd be disappointed
And
if it's
I
not.
said this the other day. I had a Twill and a cup of tea. And I just happened to look. I wasn't looking for the calories, but on the back, I saw one portion is one stick.
Nope. If it's
In
in
a
one
two-pack?
and
And
they're not,
it's not a duo, like Holly's saying. Like, we're talking a regular pack. It was
No.
saying one portion is one stick.
no.
No,
If
thank
it's not
you.
like a Kinder Bueno that's wrapped individually,
Still.
that's not still. I would always eat two. Who eats one?
You don't share a Twill.
No.
No. Oh my God. You have to
No.
fight me to get the other half of my
no.
12.
What's your petrol?
Well, I don't get out of the
Station.
petrol station, do I?
All right, let me reframe it. What does Alex get you from the petrol station if you're like, do you want a
no,
snack?
the key is when you're on your own.
She won't be on her own, she doesn't drive.
That's what I mean.
Yet.
That's why it's not when Alex.
Yeah.
Yet.
I'm
All
more
right,
of a
corner
crisp
shop
girl.
one. Oh yeah, you are safe.
I like
aren't
a
you?
salt and vinegar hula hoop.
Yeah. The massive
Space
bags
Raiders.
though.
Pickled onion Space
You and
Raiders.
Neil have a love for cheap crisps,
Yeah.
don't you? Like Space Raiders.
Expensive crisps aren't that good.
They
No,
are
like
too
posh
crunchy
ones.
sometimes.
The only ones I do like, and I don't know why it ruins my tongue for some reason, but do you know the sensations of chicken ones? If I
No.
eat like half a bag of those, I can't feel my tongue after. Maybe I'm
best-
allergic.
They're
the
very
best
safe.
crisps.
Go on.
Co-op.
Co-op.
Oh, you
salt,
two love it,
Chardonnay,
don't you?
Vinegar.
Yeah.
Salt,
I'm not a salt and
whatever.
vinegar girl.
I want like a tongue hangover the next day.
Yeah,
from
like it's
eating
gotta
those
hurt.
crisps.
like
Yeah.
she's a cat.
It's got to hurt. It's going to take the top
Yeah.
layer off your tongue.
I want to be like my eyelids sweating. I'm like, oh, I love this.
What's wrong with beef hula hoops?
I was with them. I remember this was a few weeks ago now. I nipped in Sainsbury's with Auntie Ruth, and we both love salt and vinegar.
Yeah, you do.
And there was some like novelty crisps. I think it was Halloween time. And there was salt and vinegar, like Monster Munchie, but they were ghosts.
Yeah.
They were puff and they were salt and vinegar. Had them. She got a bag as well. So I got a bag, she got a bag.
Did you compare notes?
I took one mouthful and I went, they're rubbish. So I texted her going, these are not vinegary enough. And she was like, oh my God, I thought the same thing. I mean, I still ate the bag.
Vinegar.
There's
Salt,
nothing worse.
Shake them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's actually nothing worse. And they're basically ready salted.
Yeah.
Okay, controversial opinion time. Cutting back on friends' celebrations is fine.
Oh, that's an interesting one.
Celebrations,
What do you
I'm
mean?
talking birthday parties.
Yeah.
Christenings.
Yeah.
What other celebrations are there?
Baby showers.
Baby showers.
divorce
Hen
parties.
do's.
Do you know what? It's hard to manage those things when you're in a couple, but as a single person, I am all for single person tax is a real thing. And imagine going to these individual things and you've not had your wedding and you've not had your child and still being so giving. I don't think people, when they're in that bubble, appreciate the financial
Burden.
burden that it puts on single people. So I'm all about staying at home, as we know, but I'm also about celebrating with friends as well. And I think it's a time to pick and choose. You have to pick and choose depending on where you are in your money journey, but also being forgiving of people that are a single person ever.
Yeah.
It is so expensive. You see the threads, don't you, on forums and stuff, and famous reels of people taking the piss out of how many hen do's they've got to go on this year, and it basically equates to like a house deposit. So they have to make a decision. You're going to have to say no. No is a complete sentence.
Like social media, especially like influencer driven, every event is a piece of content.
Yeah.
And I think it's really hard to step back from that. And so all of our friendship groups now, depending on, how into social media or not they are, it's an opportunity for content. And so that's super difficult because it makes an event bigger. In fact, it's invented new events that we didn't used to have to do.
Gender reveal.
Yeah.
I'm not going to one. Don't invite me. I'm not going. I wish you the best. But
Are
I'm not
they
going to
only
one.
like a recent thing? Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last few years.
Do you have to
Do you
have a
know
baby
did it? I
shower?
bet the Kardashians did it
I
first.
didn't
Yeah,
have a baby
definitely.
shower, did I? With either?
No.
I think I was like, I am not being stood up like with
Yeah.
my hand under my bump and
Like having to host sort of
no.
as well.
We did do one for Laura, but we basically just got drunk, to be honest. Not Laura. That was a good one. But
Girls,
other than that,
girls.
we then didn't
It was
have
basically
one.
a party, yeah. There
Yeah.
was no...
Did we do one for Albie?
No.
No, I think it was then like
Yeah.
I didn't
Laura
want a
was-
hen do. I didn't want a hen do. I had a bridal shower.
Yeah.
Which again, still an event, still requiring friends to come.
Yeah.
But it wasn't
But
like
not just this like big epic requirement and
Yeah.
celebration.
but like say the day of social media, it's so you would feel like shortchanged if you didn't
Yeah.
have at least one big main event.
How
Maybe
are
like a
people
balloon
waiting
wall.
for gender
Yeah.
reveals as well? Like, tell me right then and there. As soon as
It's awkward.
the scanner person
Yeah.
knows.
Do you-
I want to know.
Oh really? I didn't find out with any. Did you? No. Surprise.
Really?
No.
Is that also like a new thing?
Finding out?
Yeah.
No.
No,
I
no.
think the day
50-50,
the
yeah.
day that people
Yeah.
could have I
Oh,
think
okay.
it's a 50-50 thing. The
You're
day
just
that
one
you
of
could
two
find out.
camps, and there's
Yeah.
there's
Oh my
both
God,
are good.
I would have to know
Yeah, you couldn't. Surprise.
every single thing.
Oh.
Yeah, you'd be a nightmare.
That's
You
funny,
didn't.
isn't it? Kept it a surprise. But yeah, I'm not. Yeah, no, you're allowed to say no.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say no. Unfortunately,
It's harder when you're younger. I know we use that a lot, but like the
Yeah.
older you get, the smaller your friendship group goes, whether you like it or not. But like and you can celebrate. What's hard is making sure you put the effort in to celebrate the friend and not tie it to the thing.
to money, to monetary value.
Yeah, and to the event where you're required and your worth as a friend is connected to that. Because you could have a scenario where you don't want to pay to go to that thing for your friend, and we're talking about good friends here, but over here, you spunky money over there, and you're like doing
Yeah.
this. Like actually, you've been in like where show me your budget. I'll tell you a lot about you. And what I have been really sad about in the past is where people kind of talk about, I've got all this debt and I'm on this money journey. I want to save for a house, but it's a big year. Oh, I've got 2 friends pregnant and I've got this and I've got that. And I feel
Going
so
to 3
sorry for
weddings
them
abroad.
because
Yeah.
their entire year is hijacked by other
Yeah.
people's
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah.
And especially as a single person, sometimes when you're paying out for all these things, it just tips the balance. So, but you can handle it and you can kind of manage both a little bit, but it takes work. You have to be super organized. You have to plan your money. You have to plan your year. And you have to plan your sacrifices. And some sacrifices might be things in your personal life to be able to do them, to go to things. And some things might be I'm saying no to some things, or I'm doing a variation of,
Yeah.
or I'm being the driver. I'm not coming for the weekend.
Yeah.
I'm
'Cause
going to
you
get you a
could-
gift, but I'm not going to do the. Like
You could plan as much as you want, but you know when you're in those WhatsApp groups and like spanners get thrown in left, right, and centre, like so we're going to add on an afternoon tea, and then we're going to add on a night out, and then we're going to add on a everyone get fancy dress, and can you all chuck 20 quid in because we've bought all the decorations
Yeah.
for? It can become hijacked if you know that your group of
hijacked.
friends.
Hindu hijacked.
Yeah,
That's
if
a
you know,
thing.
if you know that's going to happen with you and a certain bunch of friends, it might be worth saying no because the anxiety that might come with what extra costs, or they're going to be all at a table on a night out and the one of them, let's order a Grey Goose because it's a
Yeah.
Hindu, you know, and then you're like, I'm going to Monzo you all after
Yeah.
50 quid each, and you're like, hang on a minute, I only had
That's where having, real conviction
Yeah.
in yourself means you can enjoy these events and say no. So, and I really want a lot of, especially girls listening to this who feel like you get dragged along, like it is okay to be the non-drinker, even forever or just for that night. It is okay to say, this is my budget. Like, I cannot come if we're not doing this, because if your friends are true friends,
you either want to see me or you don't.
Yeah.
but it's transparent from the
Alcohol
start.
or not.
Yeah, and it's like, and it's not being embarrassed or ashamed of that. Like, I just think that's a real thing. I feel like the friends in my life, the different things that we've got going on, if I said, I'm watching my money this month, I can do this, like, do we think this is workable? I just think it'd be taken okay. And if it's not taken okay, and it's hard if it's like the friend of the person who's your friend, like, it's like
Yeah.
other people planning I'm picking Hindu because it's a more obvious one.
Yeah.
But then
God, Hindu dynamics.
be brave to say no. Be like,
Yeah.
be brave.
My immediate reaction to literally, I've said this before, any plan, I'm like, no. And then I'll come around to the idea eventually,
Yeah.
which is kind of good because then it's like, I'll literally be like, I'm not coming. And then it's like, maybe I will come for a little bit of it.
Yeah. You don't want to miss out.
But I
That's a
don't
good
think
tactic.
you have to say no as well. I said you can be there and
Yeah.
and protect your boundaries. This is boundaries.
Yes.
This is choice. Like, it could be lifestyle choice
I was
boundaries.
gonna say it could be money, or it could
be
be
money
my
boundaries.
social battery is dead, and that would kill me off. Like
Right.
if you said to me,
Cinderella,
I've got to go
midnight, gotta go
If
home.
you said
Yeah.
to us now we've got to go on a hen weekend for 2 nights away to like a Benidorm or something, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I'm not doing it for
we're
not for
going
money.
We're going to Cherie's Hindu.
Can't wait.
Does she
That's
know?
fun.
I don't know. We take that out.
Can we beat? She's a listener.
She might guess from this.
For the strippers, no.
Just put a big block over Holly.
I'm sure she won't.
Magic Mike.
But like,
Think about that.
it just completely vibed because it was like the expectations meet the friend, and like you're like, I am going all in because that is right up my street. It's a defined period of time.
And
where the
she'll
people
be in
are
bed
like,
for 7 o'clock.
Love
Like, I
that.
know her. She's not staying out all night. She's like, I love you all, but I'm going home now.
Yeah.
Like, that is the vibe check from her. So I'm happy to go. Whereas her other friends will stay out all
Yeah.
night, and she'll be like, enjoy. Like, I love her
that.
for that.
when we went out for lunch dinner to
Hale.
Piccolino's in Hale, and the waiter was Italian. It was Piccolino's. It was not from Hale, and she ordered a coffee, and she's from Burnley. So I'm going to take on her accent not very well. And she said, "Can I have some oat milk?" And he went, "What?"
I was crying laughing.
milk.
There was like a mirrored wall behind. I was facing a mirrored wall, and she was sat there, and she's talking to the waiter behind me, and she's trying to say it over and over again.
So then he went and got his friend, who was English, who still didn't know what she was
like,
saying.
sorry, what? And she was like, an oat milk. And he was like, oat milk? What is that? And she's
So in
looking
the
to the
end-
posh girl who's serving us, and I'm crying, laughing in the corner.
Oh, your shoulders
She
are
also
shaking.
asked for a Diet Coke, and he was like, okay, I'll go and get you a Diet Coke. And like,
did
mirrored,
repeat it back. He
mirrored
did.
her
He did.
accent back to her. I just couldn't function for the whole night. I was just crying, laughing. And God help the people either side of us. When we go out with this particular group of friends,
Very noisy.
we have to give each other. We've talked about this before with you.
Or the pepper shaker.
You're only allowed to talk if you have the pepper shaker.
Multiple
because,
breaches, lots of breaches.
Oh,
of that.
no one follows the rules. There's a few select rule breakers, and they know who they are.
But in the end, she got some warm regular milk got brought. It was
just-
warm.
oh,
It was
like-
like, I thought she said warm,
Warm
not
milk,
oat.
not oat milk.
Oat.
Anyway, that's Cherie. But Henry coming up. But I feel this is the perfect example of you say yes to something that fits your lifestyle. If one of her friends had said, we're going to do a weekend in Benidorm, not only would she probably have said no, but
Yeah.
you also would have been confident in saying, that's not for me. I am still going to celebrate with you.
Yeah, because Cherie's actually getting married in Barbados, and a few people are going in the group or our extended group, and some people aren't.
Yeah.
And she wasn't like, are you going to come? She was just, I
No
think she
pressure.
knows. I've got family with 2 kids, and we do a lot of our own
Dynamics.
traveling, and I wouldn't necessarily just go and do it that. And she knew that, and the vibe was met. Like, she just got it.
Easier when you're older. We're older, so it's like,
We're
what
long
about-
in
what
the
do you
tooth.
think? See, I'm going to say, what do you think? But then you wouldn't go anyway.
I'm a planned canceller, so cutting back on friend celebrations is fine.
Done.
Done.
Flaky McFlakerson.
Okay, dilemma number 1. Should I prioritise my kids' savings or my pension? Hi, ladies. I've recovered financially from an awful divorce 8 years ago, where I left with less than 50% equity, no furniture or other assets. I only earned 23k part-time then, with no child support from my arsehole ex-husband. So it is possible to recover with some frugal living, but I'm now in the best place I've been in since then, and I'm not sure what to do next. I own my own house, earn 45k a year, and have a car, etc. I have 20k in an emergency fund, 4k in a stocks and shares ISA, and no debt. My new partner has just moved in and is now paying me £500 a month. I don't know what to do with this money. At the moment, I'm just living my best life and buying stuff I've wanted for ages, e.g. extra plates and heated air.
TK Maxx shopping.
Yeah. But I know I need to be sensible, and this is a real boost for me financially after years of living paycheck to paycheck. How much should you have in an emergency fund? I raided the kids' savings years ago, partly because my mum announced she's leaving her £800,000 house to them, but now I feel guilty. So I'm wondering if I should put 4k in a stocks and shares ISA for them out of my emergency fund. Should I put all of my excess into a stocks and shares ISA, or should I increase my pension contribution?
Wow.
Financial glow up.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the story of how you can turn things around,
Mhm.
especially after getting assholes out your life.
Yes.
8-year money journey she's been on, isn't it?
She feels guilty about raiding.
I
the
was
kids'
literally
savings.
shaking my
Holly, I
head.
could see Holly, like when you said raiding, she's like, it's not raiding.
I've got a question. Why do grandparents skip a generation when gifting
I wonder that.
things? Because this isn't the first time
It's not the first time we've
had that dilemma before. That's not the dilemma, by the way, is it? The
No.
fact that her parents.
Interesting
Why do
choice
they
of thought.
skip? 'Cause
I think there's loads of weird and wonderful things. I think there's like, oh, you're sorted, but I can give to them. I think there's like that can change as well. And so
I find it really interesting. That's a big old lump sum of money to give to, unless the her mum has got money elsewhere and she plans to give some to her daughter. But if she knew her daughter at all, she's just been through horrendous divorce, had to recover financially, had to raid her kids' savings, knowing full well that they're going to get 800 grand, and she's the one that's struggling and has to look after these children, and they kind of need that money now, not when that parent said.
Yeah.
Anyway, don't bring that up with your mum, but I find that one a little bit strange when people do that as a whole. This is not relation to this dilemma, but do not feel guilty about not putting money in your kids' savings, as you rightly said,
and or having to use them.
Yeah, that you use them to, if they might not have had a roof over their head.
Yeah, you've got to look after yourself first. I mean, obviously, it was if at the time it had been, well, it wasn't, but where money's in junior ISAs, it's not yours, it's theirs.
Yeah.
And so, like, you've obviously, some people put money aside for kids, but it's in your name. And not often if you need that to be accessible, it's the right thing to do, because you need to be able to look after them. And part of that looking after them might be using money.
Absolutely.
So many mums, especially, but parents prioritise putting money into the children's savings when they've not got their own house in order, because they obviously reasons.
Guilt.
Yeah.
But the minute that child is born, you just feel guilty about everything. Sorry, were you uncomfortable during that delivery, baby? Like, no, constantly, isn't it?
Yeah,
the minute that
away.
baby's born, the guilt sets in. I've never felt guilt like it as a parent, so I empathise with people that do it. But someone else messaged the other day, because I think they'd heard a pod where we talked about like you put your own
Waiting before
oxygen
doing that.
mask on first.
Yeah.
Like, you do not worry about putting into a child's investment account when you can't pay for food bills, or you're leaning on credit, or debt is crippling as a family, and you might not be able to have the heating on like over Christmas. No, do not worry about your child's investment funds.
No,
they'll be
definitely
fine.
not.
If you're fine, they'll be fine, and you're clearly not fine, or you weren't fine.
And that's why the playbook and the money plan in it like works, because it kind of forces you into a system that takes a little bit of emotion out of choices. It's kind of, I'm following this like methodology, and so she's and I think what's amazing now, she's got this excess. So for the people that don't know, she's putting money into sinking funds, which is great, and then she's got excess cash left over to put towards good things. And that's the question here. She doesn't give much information on her existing pension, but she talks about, should I be putting into a pension? Should it be in a kind of like continuing an ISA? Should it be in an ISA for the kids? And they're all good questions. And I think that if she's, the first thing is she should really look at the right level of emergency fund for her.
Mm-hmm.
So I think she's had 20 grand she's got at the moment.
Yes.
So from having something like that might be an awful lot of money to her, or because of her expenses, it might not be. She's been through like a really bad breakup. She sounds completely independent and in control. She's got obviously a boyfriend at the moment that's paying like kind of lodging money and stuff. And so she's the one in control. And so she needs to continue to be in control. So that number needs to be the number that you can sleep at night really well. And so if that money should be 30 or if it should be 15, she'll know, but that's how you do that exercise. Look at your expenses. Look at your expenses and look at how many months could I survive without my job, or without, if there was a health issue or something, and all bills could be paid and I could like get to the next stage. Also, like, thinking about things like income protection and stuff at that time, because that can also help reduce that emergency fund number, because you've got this like backup. So once she's got that figure, and I don't see that figure going down, even though it's quite a high. She says, should I put a bit of money into my kids? Parking that for a minute, I think she sounds like she'd benefit from having a good one, like a chunky one, not one that's on the cusp. So then if we park that and say, no, if anything, you might add to your emergency fund. But let's say she's happy with it as it is and she doesn't take any out of it, but she doesn't add any in. She's got her excess. And this is where you really have to look at your longer term financial goals. And so if she is behind on pension for her age, and there's lots of calculations you can do on government websites and stuff to see what you should have, her excess should be going to pension massively. Yeah. She sounds like she owns her own home. If she's got a mortgage on it still, she'll be paying it, but you divert it, because at the moment you want to be in control of your retirement. You don't want to be reliant on a man. You don't want to be reliant on anything else. that's what you want to be in control of. Your kids want you to be good in retirement. They don't want to have to be giving you some, like,
people so
cash here and there.
short-sighted, aren't they? They're like, oh, I'll put loads of money in my kids' cash eyes. They've got no money in retirement, so they have to rely on the kids.
Yeah. And the kids are like, oh,
Yeah.
we, none of, it's so good to know when your parents are financially well, because it's just, we don't want to, we'll want to look after them, but the burden of it, like, it needs to be a pleasure. It needs to be like a nice look after, not a, oh, I'm going to have to always make sure I've got enough money because my mum might not put the heating on and stuff. And so that depends. Like, if she's got, build a plan for retirement. And so it might be that whole excess is her extra retirement. And I've got loads of women in our community that do that, and they love seeing it go up. They love the top up from the government. They love loads of things. If she does want to start putting some money aside for the kids, the way to do it is through the excess. So if she's saying to me, I want pension, but I think 400's okay, and let's say she's got 2 kids, then put 50 a month into a junior ISA. A junior ISA is locked away into a stocks and shares ISA for them. If people gift, you can put money into it, so you can build the pot in different ways.
Just not from the emergency fund.
But it's not one that's going to impact any sort of financial wellness on her part. Like,
and
they
their
sound
part
like
as
they're
well,
gonna be
like,
all right.
if there is an emergency.
Yeah, she needs to be okay.
They would rather.
And it sounds like she's gone without for like 8 years. And it sounds like she's living, she said, I'm living my best life, which sounds to me like the reins have come off a little bit, where she can spend and invest in herself and her wellness. And I would hate for that then to stop already, because she's already then thinking about the kids again. Yeah. But you've already let slip that they've got an 800k inheritance coming to them. And that might change. Yeah. So you need to make sure that there are things in place. But like Laura said, look after yourself first, because once you're well, you just have so much more headspace and money to go at looking after other people.
And the other thing is, I'm going to be quite brutal here. You're not going to change their lives with the junior ISA.
No.
You're going to give them a leg up. You're not going to change, like, how they feel about money. You're not going to change. Like, it helps. Like, we've loved sharing with our kids, but also they're watching us and they're learning. And so
the budget,
if there wasn't a check at the end of other junior ISAs that we're saving,
teaching them how to budget and stay out of debt is a much bigger gift than a cash lump sum in a junior ISA.
And you being okay.
Yeah.
So the burden of a parent that isn't good financially is higher than, oh, I've got some money saved up. Because again, I don't know how old your kids are, but until they're 18, 50 a month isn't a lot either. No offense. Like, and I'm doing 50 a month for like some of mine. It's not going to change their lives.
Yeah.
So I think I'm inclined to go with you, all in on you. And it may sound like it's pension. If the budget's in a good place and you're enjoying yourself and you feel like you're having a good life, whack money in there and watch it. Track your net worth in the app every month, because you'll buzz when you see it go up.
The fact that she's even writing this dilemma in just makes me think she's absolutely got her shit together. She must have felt for a very long time that she hadn't.
Yeah.
Because it's some things where it sounds like they're out of her control. But the fact that you're even writing this in, I just love it. Like, women talking about investments and pensions, and like, there are women out there doing that, and she sounds like she's been through the mill and look where she is now. It's very, very exciting and inspiring for other community members to look up to. So,
okay, I've got a community win. Since joining Financielle 6 months ago, I've managed to increase my net worth by 121.5%. I'm absolutely staggered and so grateful.
Yay! We just talked about net worth graph. If anyone's not done it, go do it. It is for everyone. It's accessible. It's not something that is just for people with lots of money. You'll see a pretty graph go up in the right direction. And so sometimes when you feel financial poor, which you talk about when you feel like you've not got the money in your account, shit's going up. Like, your net worth is going up. So have a little look, and any questions, drop it in the community. People love sharing their graphs and stuff, don't they?
Yeah.
If you'd like to tell us your win, head to the community in the app or email it to thevault@financielle.com. Time for our next dilemma. We're in 60k debt, but my boyfriend won't accept the money to clear it. My boyfriend's dad recently sold his house and has moved into a home due to Alzheimer's. His care costs roughly 8k monthly. His dad is happy to split the money from his house amongst his kids, but due to his reduced mental capacity, the kids don't want to accept it. Part of the reason is to keep enough money in his pot for his care. My boyfriend and his siblings have access to the money from the house sale, but have not invested any of it. It's over £1 million. Due to both of us being out of work for some time during COVID, we came close to maxing out our credit cards and are jointly in debt totaling over 60k. This includes car finance and private student loans. Most of the debt is 0% or low interest, thankfully. but it still costs us around £1,000 each month with minimum payments. We also have a mortgage, which costs us £2,000 a month. My questions are, how do I convince my boyfriend and his siblings to invest their dad's money so that it can earn more? Would it make sense to borrow/accept some of the money to repay our own debt? And 3, am I a terrible person for wanting to do this when neither of his siblings want to touch the money?
Oh, I've not had one like this before.
This is a difficult one.
Terrible person. No, you're
No,
not
you're
a
not.
terrible person.
So
And
get
what
that
a-
out your head.
what a sad situation. I think really important to understand the dynamics of what's happening here. There are assets that are being used to fund care, and there are a lot of rules around what you can and can't do with money. You know, if it can look like assets are being spent so that you reduce care fees and stuff. The reason I'm saying that is this sounds like a large pot of money. And so the hope is that there's plenty of money, even at $8,000 a month, to be able to sustain his dad for as long as his dad needs care. And this, we don't know, like this could be a short term, like, you know, thing, prognosis. It could be a super, super long term. And it sounds like there's enough, but in some families, if you've got this going on and there might be like, you know, a 50K pot and care home fees are $8,000 a month.
You can see the panic would start to rise between all the siblings.
But you still have to be super careful about accessing that money, because if he's not got the capacity to gift and do certain things from that pot of money, local councils are all over this, because if they have to fund care, what happens is if you can't afford the private care home fees, you might get moved to a more cost-effective solution. But I've literally spoken about this week with a couple of people, and it's very real. So I think that's the first thing, like if you're in the situation, don't do anything without seeking proper legal advice. And I think the other side to it is quite fair when she's talking about like they should be investing it and doing something with it. I think sometimes having an objective person say that is nice, because if you're the family, you're grieving for your dad who's got Alzheimer's, you're going through this like really weird scenario.
That you're just thinking practically.
Yeah. Like I think it helps to have someone go, well, whilst you're doing that, like this is a good idea. But again, that's perfect for a financial planner. That size of money, for it to make money, it needs to have the right fee basis. It needs to be invested in the right things. And again, there could be rules around it, because, you know, who has power of attorney, who has, you know, responsibility for it, and who can. So I think great on you for suggesting that, but then get it past to a professional. So we come to the juicy bit, which is, I'm saying this with kindness, it's none of your business, and it's not your money, and it's not even really your boyfriend's money. And so this is a boundary thing where I would love, whilst you have gone just like a female probably to the practical, like, well, there's money there, we could borrow it.
Yeah.
There's two things. One, there's a boundary issue where you are getting involved and you'll be known as that girl, the one, like, you know, like
the meddler,
the one that's after the money,
we're
even when you're not. Like,
yeah.
But the other side to this is, we've talked about this before, you need to learn to pay off debt.
Yeah.
Because that will be the biggest gift you can do for yourself. Pretend the money's not there. Like I've always said this about inheritances, is like people delay decisions on money because of an inheritance
on someone, and then that person lives 20 more years
or gives it to the cats. You know.
Lucy would do that.
Yeah. But it's that, like, it's you take control of your own life, because do you know what? If inheritance or money comes later, and she's not talking about inheritance, she's talking about borrowing from the estate. Again, nothing wrong with that, nothing wrong with that in principle. There's lots of technicalities, but you need to do it on your own. You've got into this mess. You've got into it just like we all have. Like, you are absolutely human and we're on your team, but you will be, the skills you'll develop in paying this off yourself will then help you thrive if and when you come into money, which could be a different way. It might not be through like eventual inheritance, but you'll know what to do with it at the moment. If someone gave you $100,000, I don't think you'd know what to do.
Well, you're just patching up the
problems,
previous mistakes. Whereas actually imagine the money landing in your lap and having a job for it that is going to mean that you can buy a house, or I don't know, have a stable future. Like, whereas actually just going to patch up the old stuff. Like,
grind,
you need to, we taught that, flex that money muscle. Laura's just jealous that she's not in 60 grand's worth of debt, because she'd be like, right. You're like,
I'd be way better with my money.
Yeah, that problem solving, like methodology, like going back into the playbook and going to survive, like, is that dopamine hit? It gets
nice for your partner and you as well, actually, that you can work it together. And
marriages would flourish. I know they do, going through the survive stage together, whereas it's easy to rack up debt. It's not so easy to pay it off. And I think, forgetting that money's here, it's a bonus if it ever arrives. Relationships and I'm talking about between siblings, can absolutely be broken over stuff like this. And it's just not worth meddling in. Take a step back. Yes, it's like a shiny, dangly carrot that's sat there, but you'll feel much better by putting the work in and paying the debt off. It sounds like you've started that journey. Like have they started to pay the debts off? Or she said it might be minimum payments.
Minimum payments. But like I said,
that's not putting a dent in
for
it.
them. Like the minute they involve family,
it just changes. The ball game changes.
No, it really does. And I think you get distracted by shiny, like, oh, that's a solution. It's not an easy solution. It's probably the worst solution because you're not going to learn as much. And so many different dynamics change. And when they've not done anything, like I said, the grieving. And one of the biggest things that we say to people, like when they've got an inheritance lump sum, is don't do anything. Like park it somewhere safe, earn some money and have a think. Yeah. And this might be what they're doing, just because it's not earning X percent.
Yeah.
They're going through something quite traumatic and, I think.
You're being very practical about it.
Yeah. But, and loving. And like I said, you're the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Don't
be that girl.
Be the great girl.
Yeah.
Be the helpful one.
Yeah.
And then lead by example, with your boyfriend and work together and you'll get that. Oh, good luck. What a crazy scenario that is.
Yeah.
I don't envy you, obviously, having to navigate it with him, but.
Yeah. That's all for this episode. The Vault is now closed. Just a quick disclaimer, The Vault is just a chat around life and money topics and we are not giving financial advice.